بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Allah does not require of any soul more than what it can afford. All good will be for its own benefit and all evil will be for its own loss. The believers pray, Our Lord, do not punish us if we forget or make a mistake. Our Lord, do not place a burden on us like the one you placed on those before us. Our Lord, do not burden us with what we cannot bear. Pardon us, forgive us, and have mercy on us. You are our only guardian, so grant us victory over the disbelieving people. صدق الله العظيم.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Professor Saud Khan. Professor Khan is a Director of Excellence Research and International Liaison at Alliance Healthcare and Director of the Global Surgery at Northwest School of Medicine. He serves as the Professor and Chairperson of Neurosurgery at Northwest School of Medicine and is the Chairman of Global Neurosurgery Committee of the World Federation of Neurosurgical Societies. With extensive experiences, Dr. Khan has held various prominent roles. He is also the former Chairman of Neurotrauma Committee and currently Dean of Neurosurgery at the College of Physicians and Surgeons, Pakistan. Please join me in welcoming Professor Saud Khan. We apologize. First, we would like to play the national anthem of Pakistan. Please stand in respect.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody. Sorry for this human glitch. Thank you for all of you being here. Thank you especially to the G4 Alliance. Thank you for all the international speakers who have graced this occasion. It's a very momentous few days for us because having the G4 Alliance meeting in Peshawar was a dream which has come true. G4 Alliance, you will hear about more from Gail Russo in a little while, but it's a huge organization of more than 70 organizations from around the world. This program started yesterday. We had a number of lectures, talks in different places with the doctors, nurses, other students as well, postgraduate students also. Today we have, as you heard, the public outreach program, which is a very important program from our point of view, because we believe that prevention is better than cure. And I think it's very, very important to make everybody understand the importance of prevention of TBI, traumatic brain injury, prevention of spina bifida by foliate fortification, and of course prevention of burns is very, very important. Tomorrow we have a very big session on policy making because G4 Alliance is into policy making and advocacy. So policy making program is being done tomorrow, which is again going to be very, very hopefully important and successful, because we're going to talk about the National Surgical Obstetric and Anesthesia Plan, which is very important and needs to be implemented in Pakistan. Pakistan has already approved the plan, but of course implementation is still awaited. And we hope that this will bring a lot of education to everybody, and we hope to develop a lot of contacts and friendships with the whole people who have come from all over. Also people from Aga Khan University are here. We're very grateful to them as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Khan. It's my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Gail Russo, a distinguished neurosurgeon and global health leader. Dr. Russo is a clinical professor of neurosurgery at George Washington University and an adjunct professor at the Barrow Neurological Institute. She leads projects on TBI registries in Zambia and co-directs research on advancing surgical training in Africa. Dr. Russo is also the co-founder of the Global Alliance for the Prevention of Spina Bifida and was instrumental in advocating for the 2023 WHO resolution on folic acid fortification. Her humanitarian achievements have earned her the double ANS Humanitarian Award and the CNS Trailblazer Award. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gail Russo.
Thank you very much. Really nice to be here. Thank you. Thank you all. It's really good to be back here, back in this room, back with so many friends from Peshawar. This is my third trip to Pakistan, my second this year, and I'm already looking forward to the next trip. Thank you so much. And you have exceptional people running your audio-visual department. Thank you. So what I've been asked to do to kick off our several days of meeting here today is to talk with you about global surgery and about the G4 Alliance, which is the global surgery advocacy organization. So let's get started. And there we go. So we talked a little bit yesterday about the definition of global surgery, which is the clinical and public health practice of surgery with the goal of bringing access to quality surgery to everyone, everywhere. This is a relatively new concept. There we go. I think I've got it now. Thank you. So this started with the Lancet Commission report on global surgery that I mentioned yesterday, that in 2015 really set the stage for what we're doing now. So 9 years into it, this has become a global movement, a global surgery movement, and that's what the G4 Alliance is all about. We're 9 years old, the global surgery movement is 9 years old. And why do we have the need for such a movement? It's because of this summary slide of the Lancet Commission report that found that, importantly, 2/3 of the population of the planet don't have access to even emergency and essential surgery. So we're here to change that. So you might say, that's really a hard thing to do, getting 2/3 of the population access to something they don't currently have is too big a lift. But I would like to remind you that not so long ago, we were all going through a global pandemic. There was no vaccine available, remember? The experts said it would take more than 2 years. Millions of people would die, but look what our colleagues in the department in the global pharmaceutical business were able to do. This book called Moonshot is by just one example, the CEO of Pfizer, who isn't even a human medical doctor, he's a veterinarian, but they had created a culture that was can-do, and they were able to create a new kind of vaccine in just 9 months, and you know the rest is history. It saved estimated 5 to 10 million lives. So why do I say that global surgery is our moonshot? Well, that use of the term moonshot actually comes from President Kennedy, who in 1962, long before many of you were born, but he lit the imagination of the American public and of the world with this idea that we could do things, we as a human species could do things we had never done before. And so in 1962, he gave the speech that in 1969 led to the first man walking on the moon. So in this series of slides, I'm going to show you his own words from that speech that are in italics, and I've just changed them a little bit for our purposes. So Kennedy said, where there is strife, prejudice, and national conflict in the world, these should not exist in healthcare, which provides endless opportunities for peaceful coexistence. So he coined this term, the moonshot, to mean things that are bold, important, and worth doing. And let me just share this with you. Now, this is a video. Can you play it from there?
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
So we choose to do this not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Getting global surgical care available to everybody, including the 5 billion people who don't currently have access, is going to be difficult. But we welcome that challenge because that we choose to do it because it is hard. All you hardworking students and faculty here at Northwest, you don't shy away from a challenge. This will serve to organize and measure the very best of our energies and skills. And this is a challenge that we are willing to accept, that we are unwilling to postpone, and one that we intend to win. So it does require leadership. Kennedy went on to say we cannot be deterred. No specialty and no nation which expects to be a leader can expect to stay behind in the quest for the highest quality health care for all of its population. But the instruments that we will use in order to get to that goal, to succeed at our moonshot, include shared knowledge and advocacy for enlightened scientific and social policy. So I take inspiration from JFK and the space program. He cited the things that were available to the space program in order to accomplish their goal of putting a man on the moon. Vast scientific knowledge, we have that. We saw examples of it from the nursing students here yesterday. Rapid progress, that's undeniable in medicine, and mental strength. So these are the reasons why I think that we should consider global surgery our current generation's moonshot. And so let me tell you a little bit more about that. Our instruments, sharing knowledge is what this meeting is all about, right? We know that the growth of educational programs, particularly online programs, has grown enormously, especially during the recent pandemic. Simulation with increasing fidelity. We've talked about that just in the last 24 hours. It's getting possible to practice things well before one ever has to do them, perform those procedures on a human patient. There are new healthcare delivery systems. There are new field clinics in hospitals. In neurosurgery, we're starting to train our trainees not only in how to clip aneurysms, but also in those areas of public health for which we are responsible. And likewise, we're now starting to look at new ways of training in a modular fashion so that in a training program of the future, trainees in high-income countries and low-income countries can learn how to do procedures together and share knowledge that way. So here's an article about targeted public health training that we're working toward in the United States in our neurosurgery residencies. Likewise, here's the underpinning and the publication of a recent NIH grant which we put together to look at ways that high and low-income countries can work together to learn myelomeningocele repair. What other things do we have in our armamentarium, our instruments that we can use in this global surgery mission that we share? Well, in neurosurgery, and I take the examples of things that I know, all of our peer-reviewed journals are now regularly publishing articles about global surgery. It's a well-accepted subspecialty of ours. In the journal World Neurosurgery, we've created something called the Champions Program so that because we recognize that the next great idea may come from someone who doesn't speak English as their native language and maybe doesn't have an English speaker in their research group, we have a program that will allow for help with translation so that all of those good ideas can get into the literature and that language proficiency should not be a block to good ideas. And neurosurgery, our red journal, our highest impact journal, has actually created a section, and our very own Dr. Khan is one of the editors of that section of neurosurgery. So that is how we look at it within my own specialty. We look at the achievement of equal access to quality neurosurgery around the world is our moonshot, and we're working deliberately and actively to get there. In our September journal, we launched a 7-part series. That doesn't look like what you would expect a neurosurgery journal cover to look like, does it? But yet this notion that we are after a moonshot has been deeply embedded now within neurosurgery. And these are just some of the 7 articles that we put together that are considered essential reading for global neurosurgery. So I'll skip through those. Those are all open access, by the way. So there's a 7-part series on global neurosurgery. I believe that Dr. Khan is a co-author of all of those, so I recommend that you take a look at them. Now, what about advocacy? That's what the G4 Alliance is all about, and that's the focus of what I wanted to share with you. In 2015, as I've mentioned, following the Lancet Commission report, every nation that's part of WHO voted unanimously to strengthen emergency and essential surgery. So that's really why we're here. It's why the G4 Alliance is celebrating its 10th anniversary next year. And we've had some successes already. It's already been mentioned, the folic acid fortification that will help prevent the need to do surgery on newborn babies with myelomeningocele. And I'd like to say, in full disclosure as the chairman of the board of directors, I believe that the G4 Alliance is one of the prime instruments in moving the global surgery agenda forward and achieving this moonshot that we all care about. So the G4 Alliance, as you've heard, is a federation of over 70 organizations that are all united in our desire to see access to surgery, high quality, affordable, timely surgery for everyone, everywhere. And for neurosurgical audiences, I pulled out those members of the 70 plus organizations that specifically have a focus on neurosurgery. And nursing could do the same, OB could do the same, trauma surgery could do the same. And our idea is to have this federation create an environment where organizations can work together in order to amplify their own efforts, as well as to work forward with large multilateral organizations. And that's the next reason why we exist, to band these groups together, these 70+ organizations, to be able to have a united voice for global surgery as we approach the World Health Organization, the World Bank, the UN General Assembly, and make the case to elected leaders from around the world that investment in surgery is worthwhile and needs to be done. So these are some examples of being at the World Health Organization. And when we go, and we go on from our own pockets and on our own time, but then we report back in our peer-reviewed journals to the neurosurgery community, and others do it within their disciplines in order to make sure that everyone involved in this effort knows what's happening both at a grassroots level and at the highest levels of international government. I'll be speaking later today about the prevention of spina bifida, which is one of the first, but I hope just the first, of many surgery-inspired resolutions at WHO, which will help bring the attention of world leaders to direct the resources needed to be able to accomplish our moonshot. We're also working on patient-centered advocacy within our own government, and we have representatives of the Pakistani government that we will be advocating for the rights and needs and principles behind global surgery for all patients in all countries. So, as I conclude, we are also pointing out to our own community, in my case neurosurgeons, that we are lucky to be the first generation in the history of the world that is likely to be able to have a career in our surgical discipline and to have both health and financial security for another 15 or 20 years of life. And we are encouraging the seasoned neurosurgeons to use that time to devote to this effort. These are just some of the resources we use, but our greatest resource is these kind of people, the young people who are digital natives and also global natives. And I look at the inspiring, jubilant faces all in white at the back of this room and the lower half of this room, and realize that you are the ones who will take forward this goal and see it to completion. We need the older seasoned neurosurgeons, but we also need the young ones who, like all of you, will see that your careers will be not just local, but they will be global, because you are global by nature. So this is another video as well, gentlemen. If you could play this video for me. So this is Apollo 11. This is the moonshot that went to the moon in 1969.
0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32
Who doesn't
minutes
love
past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
A moonshot like that?
5.
So if JFK and NASA can do it, then I would say so can we. I'll leave you with my contact information. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you and work with you these few days. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Russo. It's evident that your work is integral to making surgical care accessible and equitable around the world. Now, I'd like to invite Dr. Neil Wetzig. Neil Wetzig is an Australian general surgeon and vice president of the Permanent Council of the G4 Alliance. He serves as a consultant and advisor for surgical training programs at Heal Africa Hospital in Democratic Republic of Congo, where he has worked since 2003. After intentionally transitioning from his surgical practice in Australia in 2015, Dr. Wetzig has dedicated significant time to expanding surgical training in Congo. Recognized for his impactful contributions, both he and his wife Gwen were appointed Officers of the Order in Australia 2020 for their distinguished service to healthcare and education in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Please welcome Dr. Neil Wetzig.
Good morning, and I would just like to extend to you our gratitude from the G4 Alliance for hosting this event. And just like Gail, I want to thank you for the hospitality you are providing. As you heard, I am not a neurosurgeon, I am a general surgeon. I am the president-elect of the G4 Alliance Permanent Council, which brings together our 70 different organisations, which ranges from academic institutions right down to NGOs like the one that I represent. You can tell by my voice, I am an Australian, you heard that, but I finished my general surgery practice, I'm a general surgeon, in Australia just on 10 years ago so that I could work in the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Central Africa because I'm committed to the situation of improving the life of those people who cannot access safe, timely, affordable surgery, obstetrics, trauma and anaesthesia care. And the role of the G4 Alliance is advocating for the neglected surgical patient. The neglected surgical patient is the person that I see regularly. For example, the young woman who goes to have a C-section when she is expecting this wonderful time in her life when she can deliver a new baby. She has a C-section, and unfortunately, because of poor training of various people, for example in Congo, she ends up with major complications that really affect her life. That is what the neglected surgical patient is. And I just wanted to draw that to your attention because that is what we are here about. We are here today particularly to look at trauma, traumatic brain injury, and the person that has a motorbike accident in Congo but cannot be resuscitated because nobody knows how to do it and they die of their traumatic brain injury. Now, I'm pleased to say that Pakistan is leading the way in developing a national surgical obstetric anaesthesia plan to deal with many of these issues, so you do not have problems like we have in Congo. But as Gail outlined, unfortunately 5 billion people out of 8 billion on this planet do not have that sort of access. So that's what we're here to look at today. We are advocating for the neglected surgical patients. So thank you for your attention. And look, the other thing as an Australian, who likes cricket here? Yeah. I do have to congratulate Pakistan on winning the recent T20 series in Australia. So you really did us in that. So congratulations, Pakistan, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Neil. We are pleased to have you here. Next, we are honored to have Mr. Malik Latif, CEO of Alliance Healthcare, to address us. Mr. Malik Latif has been at the forefront of healthcare innovation and quality improvement, and his leadership has made a significant impact in our community. Please welcome Mr. Malik Latif.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Northwest School of Medicine and Alliance Healthcare, it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to Peshawar for this gathering of 16th Permanent Council meeting of G4 Alliance. We are honored to host such a distinguished assembly of global healthcare leaders, policymakers, advocates, and community partners dedicated to advancing surgical obstetrics, trauma, anesthesia care worldwide. The G4 Alliance's mission is vital. Improving access to safe and affordable surgical care is not just an aspiration. It's a critical need, particularly in low and middle income countries. This mission is perfectly aligned with our missions at Northwest, where we too believe that quality healthcare should be accessible to every individual. It is inspiring to see all of us here committed to overcoming these shared knowledges through collaboration and innovations. At Northwest, we are proud to support global surgery efforts and to play an active role in improving healthcare access in our region and beyond. I encourage you all to actively engage in all the sessions scheduled for today and tomorrow. These discussions will provide an opportunity to delve into practical strategies for advancing our shared goals and making real sustainable impact in our healthcare system. Our collective commitment to advocacy is crucial for strengthening healthcare policies. By coming together as a global community, I am confident we will generate meaningful insights and inspire actions that can drive policy changes and mobilize resources. This conference is not only about ideas, it is about laying the foundation for the concrete steps towards a more equitable healthcare landscape for all and for our country. I would like to acknowledge and thank the G4 Alliance and each partner organization represented in this conference for your continued support and partnership. Your contributions make a big difference in the lives of patients and communities worldwide, and it is a privilege to stand alongside you in this mission. As we begin this journey together, I look forward to the insightful discussions and partnership this will emerge from this conference. May this be a time of collaboration, inspiration, and mutual learning that will stay long after you leave Peshawar. Thank you once again for being here. I wish you all a productive and impactful conference, and we at Northwest are committed to supporting the G4 Alliance in advancing the global vision for essential surgical obstetric trauma and anesthesia care for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Latif. And now I am Mumina Ali, a fourth-year medical student here at Northwest. We are now moving into our outreach and public awareness session focusing on traumatic brain injury, or TBI, as a notifiable condition. This issue is of paramount importance, as TBI can have profound, life-altering consequences, and we are fortunate to have experts and advocates here today to share their perspectives. Our first speaker for this session is Professor Franco Servadei, a full professor of neurosurgery at Humanitas University in Milan, Italy. Professor Servadei is the former president of the World Federation of Neurosurgical Societies and currently serves as its honorary president. With a distinguished career spanning numerous countries, he has been an advocate for neurotrauma and has authored over 300 peer-reviewed papers. Please join me in welcoming Professor Franco Servadei.
Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for Tariq and the G4 Alliance for hosting this session on traumatic brain injury. I was here 6 months ago in February for the Global Neurosurgery meeting and for signing a memorandum of understanding between the two universities, the Humanitas in Milano and the Northwestern University. Very often we sign collaboration, but there is nothing after that. In 6 months already, the students from Peshawar have traveled to Humanitas, and already we established a scientific and cultural collaboration. So we sign and then we did, which is usual, sometimes unusual. So I'm happy to be here again. I think where? Okay. This one is for what? Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. So as you see, traumatic brain injury is a major global health problem with substantial impact on patient, family, and society. You can read the statement from the Lancet Commission. We know, and we have published this paper on Nature recently with a joint collaboration between the World Society of Neurology and the World Society and the World Federation of Neurosurgeons. So for the first time, neurosurgeons and neurologists have written officially a paper together, which is about global health and brain health. And as we see from this, there is a quadriangle identifying what the brain health is, and traumatic brain injury are fitting all four issues of the quadriangle. We do research, surveillance, and innovation. Prevention is extremely important in traumatic brain injury. Then we have a treatment and acute care and rehabilitation. All of this quadriangle is part of the management of traumatic brain injury. So traumatic brain injuries is an important part of the brain health. If we look at the data from the World Health Organization, you see that road traffic accidents are going to be the 5th leading cause of death all over the world in 2030, with 65% of deaths after traumatic road traffic accidents due to traumatic brain injury. So brain injury is an important cause of death within the group of road traffic accidents. And we have a clear-cut epidemiology with more than between 25 and 69 million people having an accident and a traumatic brain injury all over the world, with a lot of economical consequences. If we look at the activity of neurosurgeons, you can see from this slide, well, the surgery for traumatic brain injury is the most common surgery that neurosurgeons perform all over the world. And in low-income countries is by far the leading cause of treatment. This is a meeting of sub-Saharan neurosurgeons where I was invited as president of the World Federation from about 20 countries in the sub-Saharan Africa. And again, the most common surgical procedure for neurosurgeons in sub-Saharan Africa is traumatic brain injury. Also in Pakistan, you see this is a paper that was recently published about a new neurosurgical unit only with a neurosurgeon in a remote area of Pakistan. And the publications say that the most common treatment is neurotrauma. So neurosurgeons are operating neurotrauma all over the world. We did this study, which was published in Lancet recently from a group coordinated by Cambridge. There is me inside, Tariq Khan and many others. Is a survey done all over the world about traumatic brain injury. And the first issue is age of the patients with traumatic brain injury. You see that in Europe, patients are older, like in US, whereas in Africa and Pakistan, the patients are much younger. And you see it here. These are the European and American study. The last study is the Center TBI, where the mean age of patients in Europe is 55 years. So patients are becoming older and older. But if we look at the data, go back. If we look at the data of Africa, this is Nigeria, basically 90% of patients are between 16 and 36 years. So the situation in the world is completely different. And you see it here, this is the expectancy of life in Europe on the right and in Pakistan on the left. You see that the Pakistan population is much younger and the causes of trauma are different. And if we look at the surgical procedure done all over the world, you see that green is acute epidural hematoma, which are non-existing almost anymore in Europe and North America. Why? Because of this, you see that without driving without helmets is a contact injury, and contact injury are causing traumatic epidural hematoma. We have shown in my country when in 2003 there was the introduction of the new law about helmets, and the epidural hematoma disappeared because epidural hematoma are a contact injury. If the brain is protected, there is no contact. So prevention is extremely important. And the other issue is complexity management. I have only 10 minutes, so I go very quickly. But treating traumatic brain injury is complex. This is a study comparing the outcomes in Seattle and in Mumbai in India. And this study shows that at discharge from the hospital, the mortality is almost the same. It's not that much different. After 6 months, the mortality in India without care, post-op care, without rehabilitation, without treatments after discharge is increased a lot, whereas in the States and Europe remains the same. So what we have to consider is treatment of brain injury start on the scene of accident, on the emergency department, on the theater, on the ICU, on rehabilitation, on social management at home with reinsertion for work. So it's a long chain. To get to the outcome, we have to go to the bottom of the chain. So, and we know already from many studies that these complications like decompression plus reconstruction, hydrocephalus management are conditioning the outcome. So we know that the patient should have a treatment with a long chain of management. And then there is what we call area management. We know from data, this is another paper that was written in collaboration in Lancet. Can we centralize all TBI patients? Obviously not. We have to decide which patient should go to the center with neurosurgery and which patient should not. And maybe this decision should be taken even on the scene of accident, where to drive the patients after the accident. We know that if we manage the patient on the scene of accident, we reduce the complication related to the outcome, like hypotension, hypoxia, by intubation, by fluids, by treating the patient on the scene. But where do we bring our patients? To which hospital? It's not enough to decrease the mortality by assisting the patient on the scene, but then going to the right place where the patient can be treated. We have a system that, we have in place a system that we call hub and spoke. Hub is the center of the wheel, and the spokes are those ones going into the center of the wheel. And the hub and spoke system is a system where we have in place telemedicine and protocols where we connect different hospitals. Only the central one has the neurosurgery, and all the others are connected via transfer of images, or you see recently a paper from one paper from Bangladesh and another paper from India show that this system can work as we do with WhatsApp that we all have in our phones. So we just need a system of connection between hospitals to decide to centralize the patient, and this system became fundamental during the COVID pandemic. You know that my region, unfortunately, was the first hit in Europe with the pandemic, and one hospital after the other was closed, and neurosurgical units were no more available. So we reorganized the system in the same way. We call hub and spoke. So we send all the patients to only one hospital who was still open. So in conclusion, traumatic brain injury is a notifiable condition, is a common cause of death in the young population, is the most common surgery done by neurosurgery all over the world, especially in low middle income countries. It requires a multidisciplinary management, emergency ICU, rehabilitation, both physicians and nurses who are extremely important in the treatment of this patient. And the outcome depends on a complex chain which requires organizational efforts like area-based protocols. We don't have guidelines only. The guidelines will drive you, but the area-based protocols are where you live, and they are extremely important to rule. We need bridges between countries with more and countries with less resources. We need a collaboration, and as Seneca said, nemo solus satis sapis. Nobody knows enough alone. We need to collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Servadei, for your enlightening presentation and for your dedication to advancing neurotrauma care worldwide. Next, we have Mr. Saud Khan, the Chief Traffic Police Officer of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. With a distinguished career in law enforcement, Mr. Khan has made a significant contribution to traffic management and public safety, including his role in Islamabad's Safe City project. His services have earned him the President's Police Medal for Meritorious Services. Please welcome Mr. Saud Khan.
Thank you so much, and I would like to start my presentation by second, please. First of all, traffic police is a department which is part of the overall policing system in the country. Our job is to ensure that the public is safe on the roads, and all such accidents which are under study here right now are prevented. For this, the traffic warden system was introduced in Peshawar in 2015, and these warden system emphasized on public safety on the roads. We understand totally that due to traumatic brain injuries, due to traumatic brain injuries which are caused by the external force are mostly, can be experienced on the road if the safety measures are not undertaken. The police service, the warden service ensures that not only the people are penalized, but also they are made aware and they take safety precautions voluntarily. So I am going to give you some points regarding what the traffic police is doing and how it plays its role in respect to other departments such as yourself in preventing such issues. So according to our analysis, and you know yourself as well, that major cause of TBI worldwide is, as per the previous presentations as well, are road accidents. Traffic police is working in 3 shifts in Peshawar city, ensuring that the people use helmets and are made aware that they use this facility of wearing helmets without being forced to do this. There are various codes and laws in our penal code which direct towards making the road travel safe, and the people may not suffer such injuries. We understand totally that by dealing with such accidents on the road daily, we understand that such issues not only create psychological problems for the families concerned, but also for the person. We have witnessed a lot of road accidents, injuries in which the victims were never the same because of that traumatic injury to the brain. So there are two sides of this operation that we are doing in Peshawar particularly. One is to penalize, that is to use the law to the advantage of the people. In fact, it is like if somebody is not using a helmet, then you have to give him a ticket, in simple words. Otherwise, if there is some major violation, then there can be a first information report, and further the law can take its own course. Some of the actions, some of the actions that we undertake are enforcement of the laws, but this also includes making people aware of the rules and regulations on the road. It is pertinent to mention here that in the previous years, the traffic police went to about 77 institutes like yourself and educated about and gave awareness to about 16 to 17,000 people, children, mostly university students, ongoing institutions, which were in which the students are undergoing their various sorts of education and studies. This year alone, traffic police went to 220 institutions, and we targeted about 50,000 people, students. So we understand that the more the people are aware about this aspect, the more they will be safer. Similarly, we are also giving, on the other hand, we are also giving not only awareness but also on the roads. We are trying to implement the law, and we have presented a traffic management plan to the government. The traffic management plan envisages the vital aspects which makes the roads safer for the people, which includes the engineering issues that we are facing here in Peshawar. Also, we have explained that what is the role of not only the traffic police but also the other development authorities, such as the road building authorities, the building authorities, the parking places which are required, the length, the road markings, the signages, everything has been included. So that plan has, alhamdulillah, been put up before the worthy Chief Minister Sahab, and most probably it is going to be implemented soon in the urban planning for the next 20 years. These are some of the pictures you can see that this sorts of campaign we undertake regularly in Peshawar. These are targeted towards schools and colleges, health institutes, roads. We are also doing it on the roads. We do seminars, different sorts of awareness campaigns, and we are using the print and electronic media as well for creating awareness so the wider audience can be targeted. These are some of the pictures in which the traffic police officials are distributing pamphlets. Similarly, nowadays social media is very prevalent, and we use social media services. We have our own FM radio services, which we use to host different sort of podcasts, and different celebrities and valuable personalities from the society are invited to create awareness to the people so that people are willing and they know their rights and duties on the roads. We have also conducted a survey in which we have made sure that the people in Peshawar are, how our activities are affecting the people in terms of the awareness about the traffic rules and the codes and violations and their duties. The survey was encouraging, and we got a positive report. About 10 to 15% of the people have been made aware regarding these strategy of ours. We not only give tickets to the people who are not wearing the helmets, but also we are making sure that the traffic flow is not affected. These are some of the initiatives that traffic police, in a sort of CSR, corporate social responsibility, we are doing it. So that people are, they themselves realize that this helmet is so much important for them. We have also, you've seen in Peshawar, we have also, made this sort of markings on the roads in front, in the backside of the rakshas, which are, quotations and different duties of the people, different, good words or phrases which can, which are not only, people who are traveling on the road, and they can read those. And this has been initiated by traffic police itself. Some of the in the previous year and the last 6 to 7 months, these are some of the statistics which are which we have done in terms of the speed limit, which is actually one of the cause of accidents. We have challenged about, nowadays if you take 1 year, we have challenged about 4,000. In the past 7 months, it is 2,493 tickets. And you can see a lot of tickets have been issued to the people who are not wearing helmets in the last 7 months. Similarly, there are other codes which I think are relevant to this presentation and to our seminar here and conference here, which shows that the traffic police is doing its work, its job. However, we are not, it is pertinent to mention here that we are not enforcing the law by force. Our primary job is to make sure the people are, there's no traffic jams on the road. However, it is when the violations are too much on the road, then we are it is our compulsion and obligation to issue the tickets. We have to understand that people have their own financial issues, and similarly, those financial issues have to be considered. Recently, the government has, in June or July, has raised the prices of these violations overall, and it is now even more difficult for the people to pay for these challans en masse. So we have to make balance between traffic flow, violations, and enforcement. Similarly, you have seen that in Peshawar there is a lot of issue of encroachment. So we undertake operations and similar campaigns against encroachment when it is necessary, because these encroachments, when they are hindering the traffic flow or endangering the people's lives, then the traffic police comes into force and plays its parts. About 4,000 anti-encroachment operations have been undertaken in past 1 year of different sizes and magnitude. So you can see that about 1,51,000 about approximately in the past 7 months we have challaned people who have violated this code of not wearing a helmet. It is encouraging to note that due to our efforts and obviously the efforts of other people in KP, the government, other departments, especially Rescue 1122, the number of accidents have actually decreased as per this source. The accidents, even though they are a lot nowadays because the number of vehicles and motorcycles are increasing. However, it is important to note that the number of fatal and non-fatal accidents have decreased by 10 to 15% in past 1 year. And this is not only in Peshawar alone, but all over KP. Probably because of some of the efforts we are doing, we are not taking the credit for other people, but we have to see that what are the reasons which this decline has been witnessed. One is that the public transport system has increased, and number two, the people are getting more aware. We can also see that some of these accidents are not recorded. This might also be the case, but we cannot ignore that the number of fatalities have decreased. Predominantly, you can see that most of the fatalities are in male gender. However, in female and children, this is also one of the concern, because once the transport vehicles are regulated, I believe that more lives could be saved. This is one of the example of road accident. We understand that there are various accidents which are caused by not wearing helmets or not following the safety rules, but we also have to see that mostly in Pakistan, people who have accidents are young, and those young people are having accidents not because they are under the influence of some drugs, but mostly because they do not follow the traffic rules. At times, we also see that the younger generation is more prone towards overspeeding. So we have correlated by our research that we can play our part. In this case, we have our own ambulance, and all the field staff have been provided with first aid kits so that they can respond as quickly as possible to the emergency in our own capacity, even though there are rescue services available in this province. But however, as far as our help is concerned, we have been training our wardens in first aid and trauma care, because at times only the police is the first responder at the spot. Being a traffic police, we are present at the roads, and a little bit of training would go a long way in addressing these concerns. I thank you all for your time, and I wish you all the best for your future career pursuits. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khan, for sharing your expertise and the critical role of traffic management in reducing TBI incidents. Our next speaker is Dr. Mohammad Ayaz Khan, the Director General of Rescue 1122 Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. With a background in medicine, health management, and specialized training in disaster management, Dr. Khan has transformed Rescue 1122 into a critical response agency. His leadership has been pivotal during natural disasters and other crises. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ayaz Khan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear all distinguished guests, I am really honored that you have invited me to address this August session. Thank you all. I would like to start my presentation regarding the topic which I already presented here. It's very difficult to present my topic in front of the legend sitting in front of me. You know that I'm also a medical doctor, but I changed my field, so it's so difficult for me to explain everything clearly in front of you. So I think we can start straight away from my topics, a very crisp presentation in front of you. So I think it can help you to understand our point of view and our services of Rescue 1122 in KP. So I would like to start my presentation. Okay. Yes. सामने नहीं आ रहा, वो पीछे लगा हुआ है. Okay, our sequence of topic is first of all introduction of the pre-hospital emergency rescue services. What is TBI? You know, traumatic brain injury. What is the causes of TBI? Symptom of TBI. It's a very crisp presentation. I didn't want to explain in detail because you know everyone about the TBI and what is the causes of TBI. I just make it very crisp for you. What is the symptom of TBIs, statistics, response mechanism of emergency rescue services, patient transportation mechanism of rescue 1122, prevention and the challenges faced by the rescue 1122 during shifting the patient. So first of all, we come to know about the introduction of rescue 1122. As you know, the rescue 1122 established in 2010 after a major bomb blast occurred in Kisafani Bazar, and hundreds of people lost their lives. At that time, there was no rescue established in KP. So we asked for feedback from the Punjab government, which established in 2004 in Punjab. So as you know, the rescue KP was established 2000 and providing the services all 34 districts. Alhamdulillah, rescue 122 established in 34 districts, and we already established 109 substations in different districts. Also, our rescue 112 to move to merge area as well, and all of the merge area include South Waziristan, North Waziristan. As you know, the line order situations in the in that areas, we established rescue 112 there, and alhamdulillah they are performing very well services and provided to the local communities. Rescue 112 provide pre-hospital EMS, emergency medical services, fire services, disaster services, water rescue services, and we already established on the motorway and highway services. We established our rescue stations on different motorways and highways, different highways which include Lucky Marwat, DA Khan, Karak. We established our substations there on the motorway. And our main rescue services also included the recovery services, intra-hospital patient service, patient shifting, community safety services, and much more others included in the rescue 1122 service. The vision of rescue services: safe communities where citizens are provided the right to timely emergency response and care without discriminations. The mission of the rescuers: establish an effective system for emergency preparedness, response, protection, and prevention, while contributing towards building socially responsible, healthy, resilient, and safer communities. This is the motto of Rescue 1122. Sorry. Okay. As you all know about the TBI, so it's a type of the brain that occurs when sudden external force damages the brain. It can result from a blow, jolt, or impact to the head or body, leading to a temporary or permanent changes in the brain function. TBIs can range from mild, like concussions, to severe, potentially causing long-term disability or even death. As you know, the causes of TBI, traumatic brain. First of all, falls. You know the leading cause, especially in older adults and young children. History of fall, which also cause TBI. Road traffic accidents, high impact collision or pedestrian injuries. Sports injuries, contact sports like football, boxing, or rugby. Assaults or violence. Physical attack or gunshot wounds. Blast injuries, common in military personnel exposed to the explosion. Sorry, sorry, I have severe throat infection from the last couple of days, so it's so difficult for me to explain in detail. So it will be easy for you to understand from my slide. Sorry. Symptom of TBI. You know the physical symptoms including headache, vomiting. Physical symptom including headache, vomiting, and fatigue, speech problems, seizures. And there's also sensory issues, blurred visions, ringing in the ears, altered taste or smell. Cognitive problems including memory loss, difficulty concentrating, mood swings, and severe symptoms included persistent headaches, loss of coordination, slurred speech, and severe confusions, and at last leading to coma. These are some symptoms of this is suspected. Since the inception of Rescue 1122 from 2010, this is a statistical data which include first on the top line road traffic accident about 200,000 road traffic accident occur. Medical emergencies which occur about 671,000. Fire emergency. This is all detail of the emergencies handled by the Rescue 1122. And the newly referral ambulances also inducted with the Rescue 1122 services, and about 300,000 services provided by the Rescue 1122 and the referral services to a patient from one hospital to other hospital and shifting from one district to other province. In case of need, in case of any major, our ambulances also included the ventilators. We have a ventilator ambulance also available in our rescue fleet. This is traumatic brain injury causes. As you know, 3% bicycles, the bicycle mostly affected by hitting by a car, and there the chances of TBI is most of the, because they are not wearing the helmets, and most of the foreign countries where I see the bicycles and the motorcycles, they mandatory wear the helmets, but in Pakistan it's and as you know that the assaults, 11% assaults, they may also cause a TBI, and 19% struck by against, 20% road traffic accident, and 28% fall from the building from any other height places. So they have a severe TBI occur. The main role of response of mechanism of Rescue 1122, we can come to this. As you know, being a first responder, Rescue 1122 play a pivotal role in the life-saving and safe transportation of TBI patient from incident to the nearby healthcare facilities, adopting a proper mechanism. First of all, dispatch and initial response. The process begins when an emergency call on 1122 is made by a number like 911. The dispatcher gathers essential information about the incident. TBI cases are typically treated as a high priority emergencies due to the risk severe complication. A trained paramedical staff along with a well-equipped ambulance respond. Secondly, scene assessment and safety. Rescue 1122 teams ensure the safety of the scene before approaching the patient. They may need to assess risks such as ongoing traffic in case of a road accident, falling of debris or violent situations. Mechanism of injury is performed. Third one, initial assessment, primary survey. The primary survey follows the ABCD approach, which helps in identifying and managing the life-threatening condition GC is also evaluated. Fourth one, stabilization and immediate care. It includes the following measures. First, cervical spine protection, oxygen therapy. Third one is IV access and monitoring of vital signs. Fifth, neurological assessment and monitoring. The pupils are properly examined to evaluate the severity of injury and ICP, intracranial pressure. The neurological status is again evaluated. Sixth, rapid transport to an appropriate facility. Based on the severity of the TBI, the patient is transported to the nearest trauma center capable of providing specialized care. The trauma center is properly informed on time prior to patient arrival. Next color. The seventh one is pre-hospital interventions. Following interventions are made to save the life of a TBI patient. First of all, airway management, spinal precautions, administration of the medications. Before reaching to the hospital, we need to stabilize the patient by applying the three methods. At one, communication and handover. The Rescue 1122 team provides a detailed brief of TBI patient to the trauma center, including causes of injuries, GCS, vital signs, and treatment given. The Rescue 1122 paramedics also help the staff of trauma center, emergency department, and a patient transfer shifting. As you know, the manual line stabilization of the patient. First of all, we need to stabilize the neck of the patient before transportation. As you know, in 1-2, embolization in 30 supine position without any cervical collar, complete immobilization. वो change कर दे. Importance of early pre-hospital care of TBI patients. Effective pre-hospital care by the Rescue 1122. The role of the Rescue 1122 before transporting the patient to the hospital. The following procedure is applied by the our EMS persons. First of all, reduce the secondary brain injury by ensuring the adequate oxygen and blood flow to the brain. Secondly, prevent the complications such as seizures, low blood pressure, and airway obstructions. Third one, improve overall patient outcomes by enabling early medical interventions and faster surgical treatment if needed. The pre-hospital emergency response to TBI is a coordinated efforts involving rapid assessment, stabilization, and transportation. Proper training of EMS personnel and well-established protocols can greatly influence the survival and recovery of the TBI patients. Challenge? No, preventions. No. Due to the time shortage, we just only discuss the challenges which are facing by the Rescue 1122 before transportation of the patient to the hospitals. So we are facing the different challenges which are in front of you. Access to prevention victim of the TBI timely need awareness in the community we can provide community awareness session in different markets, massages, hospitals, education institutes, universities. We need to create awareness amongst the students, among the peoples. Implementation of the road safety measures as discussed by the our friend police officer. We need to implement the road safety measures by providing a helmets and wearing a seat belt during a driving. So we need to road safety measure and community awareness regarding this. Availability of trauma center with skilled doctor and staff in the remote areas, and the last one is development of safety protocols. Thank you very much. Thank you. Just a brief discussion regarding. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Khan, for your insights. Our final speaker for this session is Abdul Basit, a young university student and dedicated advocate for traumatic brain injury awareness. After a life-changing accident, he has courageously been sharing his journey of recovery and raising awareness about the challenges faced by TBI patients. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Abdul Basit.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable doctors and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum. Excuse my stutters. Well, today I stand before you as a testament of reckless driving by a reckless rider on one hand, and the care and dedication of the medical professionals at Northwest General Hospital on the other. My journey began at around 4:30 p.m. on 7th of July 2023 when I was severely hit by a careless rider in front of Vice Chancellor House while I was returning from the gym near my home in the University of Peshawar campus. In the immediate aftermath, some bystanders quickly called emergency services, and I, along with the injured rider, was rushed to Khyber Teaching Hospital. Unfortunately, due to the absence of a neurosurgery specialized system, I had to be transferred to Hyderabad Medical Complex. However, the preoccupation of ventilators over there meant I still could not receive the necessary treatment. It is to be mentioned that by then my family was unaware of my condition. They came to know only after the Hyderabad Medical Complex officials posted my picture on Facebook so that to approach my family. Consequently, I was brought to Northwest, where my life took a turn for the better. Dr. Saud Khan, a dedicated and skilled neurosurgeon of Pakistan, took charge of my case. He meticulously examined my injury and after 14 days of careful observation, decided to proceed with the surgery. Initially, I was placed in the intensive care unit, but as my condition stabilized, I was moved to the recovery ward. Unfortunately, I contracted MRSA, a serious infection that further prolonged my stay in the hospital. After 48 days of extreme care and high hopes at Northwest, I was finally discharged. My recovery continued at home, supported by my loving parents, family members, and well-wishers. 3 months later, a walker played a significant role in helping me regain my walking balance. With the passage of time, my strength returned. I began riding a bicycle after 16 months of the accident. Today, I am proud to say that I am 90% back to normal. I owe this remarkable recovery to the exceptional care that I received at Northwest, the unwavering support of my family, and above all, the grace of Allah. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to share my story with you. The dedication and expertise of the medical team at Northwest have not only saved my life, but has also given me a second chance to live it to the fullest. I hope that my journey inspires you and reaffirms the importance of the work you do. In the last, it is my humble advice to all of you to be very careful in driving a vehicle. Overspeeding is dangerous not only for others but can be hazardous for you as well. A mistake of a second can take years in recovery and hundreds of thousands of rupees. It is therefore requested that you must always follow the rules and limit of speed to avoid any unnecessary unpleasant event. Thank you for your time and consideration. Jazakallah.
Thank you, Abdul Basit, for sharing your personal story and inspiring us with your resilience and advocacy. Thank you to all our speakers for their invaluable contribution to this session. Now, I'd like to invite Professor Dr. Saud Khan on stage to share his perspective.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Basit, for your great story. It's all about you because you were the ones who tried very hard. I think it's very, very important for the patient to be working hard on his recovery. I think you did very well, mashallah. Thank you. And thank you for sharing the story. So I'll be very brief because we're running late, and I think the students are getting tired as well. They're waiting for a cup of tea. So the idea of making TBI as a notifiable condition really started because somebody shared a paper with me, Professor Andrew Maas from Netherlands, where this paper was from Pakistan, and it talked about traumatic brain injury and the reasons for mortality and morbidity in Pakistan, and traumatic brain injury was nowhere in that list. So we were very surprised, and we were in Cambridge, and I started talking to Professor Tony Fagashi from South Africa, and we decided that maybe we should look at how we can get this condition as a notifiable condition, because once we know the numbers, then we can educate with the governments, with everybody to give more resources for prevention, for policing, for intensive care, for rehabilitation, everything. So that's how the story started. Many other people joined. Gail Russo joined, Professor Franco Servadei joined, and now we have a coalition of people from all over the world. The Canadian Head Injury Association is also working on that, and we have made a task force, and G4 Alliance is helping with this project as well. We are very hopeful that in the near future we'll be able to prevail on the World Health Assembly to pass a resolution to make this condition a notifiable condition. So this was the whole idea, and we're working on that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for contributing from Police 1122, all the other speakers, especially Basit. Thank you very much. I think we'll have a very, Dr. Alvaz, we will have a very short break for tea. Oh, shields, okay, yes.
Now I'd also like to invite Dr. Gail and Dr. Neil to join us on stage to distribute some shields. I'd like to invite the Chief Traffic Police Officer, Mr. Saud Khan, on stage. Now I'd like to invite our TBI patient advocate, Mr. Abdul Basit.
Congratulations and thank you. Thank you.
And finally, I'd like to invite Dr. Mohammad Ayaz Khan, the Director General of Rescue 1122. Thank you so much. Thank you for attending this session. We will now be commencing with a short tea break followed by our next session. Please join us outside for the tea.